Hello everyone, this is your weather dude, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the tropics, the severe weather, and the heat once again. And as you can see, we're going to be talking about the tropics first because we have two areas that we have to watch. Two. When I say two, that means there is two. And as you can see, system number one that we are tracking, as you can see over here, right off the coast of South America, as well as over off the coast of Haiti and Jamaica. So this thing is looking a little interesting, as you can see, with a 10% chance of forming in the next 48 hours and 20% in the next 7 days. So I don't see anything happening with this system whatsoever. But that means for this other system, as you can see, we have a 10% chance of formation in the next 48 hours. But this is where it gets interesting. We have a 40% medium chance in the next 7 days. So, and as these storms off the coast of Africa keep on forming and do stuff that we don't want it to, like become like a tropical system or a hurricane, then that's when we got problems. Yeah, problems. So anyways, we're going to go over to our model runs to see where these two systems will be heading to. And if they're even going to form. So here we go. As you can see, we're going to be looking at this one first because it's going to be out of the way, I think. Because as you can see, there's our little rain shower. It's hanging out right here. It's showing that it's going to dissipate, which, honestly, I kind of see that happening. I really do. Because as it progresses, there's the rain shower kind of near the Yucatan of Mexico, right around Mexico. And then if you can see it, it's like right here now, and it's depressing. Like like the thing doesn't even need to be like tracked now. Like I do not see it forming whatsoever. But we do have to keep an eye on it still and see if or when it forms. Or if it has a potential to form anyway. But now this is where we watch our second system. And there may be also indication that there may be a system behind it as well as the models go through. So let's go check that out right now. So here we go. Here's our one system hanging out right here. We put this out into motion. Oh, I did not want that. Did not need the photographs. Yeah, I did not. But anyways, here we go. Here's our little system hanging off the coast of Africa. If I put it into motion, let me get this thing rolling again. Yeah, alright, so here we go. If I put this out into motion, as you can see, it's just hanging out in the Atlantic. Not doing much, but then this is where things get interesting. So you see the little circle right here, that's our little system. As you can see, it actually has a little something going on. And as it approaches South Africa, or no, not South Africa, South America, into the Caribbean, as it gets closer to them areas, um, as you can see, it really gets something pretty interesting. And like, I would say, below 1,000 millibars, that's also an indication that we may have a tropical system or maybe a hurricane. Because as you can see, it's really tight in its circulation. As you can see, the lines are very small and compact. That means we may have a Category 1 or a very strong tropical storm forming. And as it gets closer to South America and the Lesser Antilles, as you can see, it's looking very interesting. And look at that, 996 millibar. And also, like I was saying, look at our second system behind it too. It's not as like compact as this one, but it's something though. Especially with this one with more like another rain shower coming through, going across the Atlantic, closer to South America. That could be something to form potentially. But then if you see over here, this is our 998 millibar system right here. It's right off the coast of South America, getting closer to the Lesser Antilles, towards the southern part of those islands. And it's just about to enter uh, enter the Caribbean, and this is the 1st of July, so things are looking pretty interesting right there. And as you can see, it's a 996. The lines are very tight. Um, so this could be maybe a Cat 2, Category 3 hurricane. Maybe, possibly a major. Because as you can see, now it's at 998. It's brewing in the Caribbean off the coast of Puerto Rico, Lesser Antilles, and also the South America and South America. So things are looking very interesting right there, especially with this one with 1,000 millibars or close to it at least. So this could be also a tropical storm hanging out. We have two areas that we have to watch. As these progress, it's way too far out. Like, it's way too far out, so we really don't know what's going to happen to them. But then, just watch this system. I'll say the peak is going to be right here. Say this is where the most intensity is going to be. And then, as it starts going off, it starts weakening. And I think it just runs in a wind shear. I really think it does. So I don't think it's gonna form in some. Oh, but watch though. Our system behind it, it starts forming just like that one started in the beginning. So it starts strengthening. It's just as strong as the other one. Maybe Cat 1, Cat 2 hurricane, maybe even a 3. And it looks very intense. Yeah, very intense. And this one, as you can see, like once it goes away. Like shear just took it over and it's not gonna do anything. Maybe a tropical depression hanging out over towards Central America, hitting over in that area. So that's something to think about. But then over here towards the Caribbean is a pretty strong storm. And whoa man, 987. So it's even stronger than the other storm. So we well, this could change or it could keep on going. Who knows? And I would say this is so far out though. So this is probably like the 4th. So this is like 4th of July. So it's definitely something. But then as you can see, wind shear kind of takes it over a little bit, but it becomes right strong again. Goes up to 10,000 millibars and then it strengthens again as it gets closer to Jamaica. So we may be talking about a storm hanging out over towards Jamaica instead. But then as it progresses, just the wind shear takes it, runs once it gets closer to the Yucatan Peninsula and Cuba. And yeah, that's pretty much it. What's gonna be showing for that? Um, yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. Ooh, but something to think about though is that that little system it goes into the Gulf and it turns into a little something, probably like a tropical depression, maybe another storm, reforming, and then it just weakens once it crashes into the United States, towards Alabama and Florida. So who knows? And looks like that's pretty much about it for the tropics. So we just have to watch and see what is going to happen with these systems because there could be two systems that could be very powerful that could turn into pretty decent hurricanes. So we definitely have to watch for this season, especially with it being super hyperactive this season, what most people are saying. So let's see if that's gonna be true or not. And it kind of looks like it is, because two strong systems. Oh man, that's something. That is something. So we just have to watch and see. Anyways, let's go on to our severe weather. Yes. So this is for today. This is today, June 26th. As you can see, here's our severe weather for today. Over here, as you can see over here towards the Ohio River Valley, all the way into the New England area, or southern New England area. As you can see, we have a pretty large slight risk extending from Kentucky and southwestern parts of Indiana all the way into the coastal regions of New England and in the Delmarva area. So it looks pretty interesting. And then we have another slight risk. Remember I was talking about the potential squall line thing? It is actually supposed to be a slight threat for that area throughout Oklahoma, parts of Texas, parts of Louisiana, and Mississippi, and small portions of western Alabama. So that was pretty decent storm, as you can tell, from what I was talking about yesterday. And it swept through Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, parts of Kansas, and then into Oklahoma and Arkansas. And now it is predicted to be a pretty strong storm, possibly heading all the way to the Gulf Coast. So that was a pretty crazy storm. I think it was. It seemed like it was because I think there was quite a few severe thunderstorm warnings on it. So things were pretty interesting right there. And then we have a slight risk for southwestern parts of Wyoming, western parts of Nebraska, eastern Colorado, southwestern parts of Kansas, and pretty much towards northeastern New Mexico, northern Texas, and western panhandle of Oklahoma. So things are looking pretty interesting right there for today. And then marginal threats. It's pretty much extending from Wyoming, going all the way down through Texas, and then all the way through Alabama, and then throughout all the way to the very tip of Cape Cod in Massachusetts. So things are pretty interesting right there. With a small marginal threat throughout parts of Montana, Wyoming, and Illinois. No, not Illinois. Idaho. Whoops. Mixed that up. But yeah, throughout Idaho as well. So. And then over here, tornado threat, small threat throughout Connecticut, southern New York, majority of Pennsylvania, and northern New Jersey. So things are looking pretty interesting right there. Wind threat, same thing. And then the hail threat, majority the same thing as well. So just the not really a slight risk over here, but it's still a 5% chance. So definitely want to look out for hail as well. And now we're going to go on to the next day, Thursday. Ooh, this one's a little concerning right here. And as you can see, there is an enhanced threat of severe weather for tomorrow, the 27th, throughout Montana, all the way down into northeastern parts of Colorado. They enhanced threat of severe weather. Definitely something to look forward to. Not really look forward to. Whoops. No, it's not. Something to be prepared. That's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. Just to be prepared about it. As you can see, it's for eastern parts of Montana, western parts of North Dakota, South Dakota, northeastern parts of Wyoming, and western parts of Nebraska. So things are looking pretty interesting right there. And then a slight risk all the way down from northwestern Oklahoma, all the way up to the Canadian border, as well as the enhanced threat from northeastern Colorado and western Nebraska, all the way up to Canada, to the Canadian border. And then a small marginal threat for the eastern Carolinas and small portions of northeastern Georgia. So things are looking interesting right there. With a tornado threat for pretty much some same areas for that 5% and the 2%, pretty much for the same areas of what I just said as well. And then wind threat, same areas, but we have a significant chance of wind threat within a 30% of 25-mile radius. And these winds can be up to 75 miles per hour throughout northeastern Wyoming, western South Dakota, western North Dakota, and eastern and a big portion of Montana, actually. So if you are in the hatched risk, I'd be prepared for 75-mile-per-hour winds. So just look out for that. Be prepared. As well as the hail threat, be prepared for that as well. With 2-inch in diameter hail could also happen within the same areas as the wind hatch threat as well. So definitely something to keep an eye on. To get your warnings, probably off of your phone or a NOAA radio, something like that to get your warnings through, because we may have some big time severe thunderstorms tomorrow, as well as maybe a few tornadoes as well. So just keep an eye on that. And then the day after that, Friday, June 29th, 8th. As you can see, we have a slight risk for Iowa, Missouri, parts of Illinois, and small portions of eastern Kansas and Nebraska. And then marginal threat from northern parts of Oklahoma all the way up to the Canadian border. So definitely something to look out to. And this could be any severe weather situation. So like tornadoes, hail, wind, stuff like that. And it's a 15% threat. So definitely something to look and be concerned about. But we still gotta wait and see what's gonna happen. So now we're gonna go on to our radar for tonight's severe weather. Once I look at the other days, let me go back. Alright, so here we go. There's really nothing else. Like, nothing for Saturday, nothing for Sunday, nothing for Monday, nothing for Tuesday, nothing for Wednesday as of now. Because that could definitely change as the future goes on. So, over here to our model runs. So this is pretty much right now. Yes, as of right now, this is our radar. As you can see, storms are firing up through Ohio, parts of Pennsylvania, and New York, as well as down here towards Tennessee, Missouri, and parts of Arkansas. And if we put this on in motion, we can see some pretty decent straight line winds going throughout Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Virginia. And as those storms pretty much just go off to the coast, it's pretty much for the northeast, as well as towards the mid-Atlantic regions, and as well as out here towards that little squall line area that I was talking about right around here. But it's supposed to be weakening, which is a good thing. So other than that, that is pretty much it for the severe weather component. As you can see, we may, like I said, the severe weather out there towards Montana will also start firing up for tomorrow as well. So definitely gotta watch these storms to see what happens. And yeah. And now we're going to be going on to the heat component. As you can see, temperatures can be up to 100 degrees in the southeast once again, with temperatures in the Great Lakes right around the 70s due to the rainfall, maybe the low 80s as well. Up here towards the northeast, right around the 80s again as well. Pretty much majority of the whole United States is going to be like 80 degrees, about 70 to 80 degrees or above. So, and then down here, it's about like, it's going to be about 113 in Death Valley. Ooh, it's hot. And then with temperatures around 103 right around towards northern Texas and southwestern parts of Oklahoma. So it's going to be a hot one out there for today, with our lows all the way down to right around the 60s for the Great Lakes, mainly 50s as well. Over here towards the northeast, the 60s, and then the 80s in Texas and Oklahoma, and majority of the southeast as well. So that's pretty much it for today's weather. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and that is pretty much it. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Alrighty, see ya. Bye.